There's a very, I want to say, controversial question in this scenario. And that is, first of all, abusive homes are never easy to overcome. I have not yet known what it comes to be to live in an abusive home, but I do know the feeling that when you do not want to forgive your dad for reasons. And the thing is here that what Shoto is saying here, in a way it sounds heartless. At the same time, listen, please listen to me. I understand it makes perfect sense. So the biggest moral of the question here is Endeavor still being selfish, thinking that Shoto really would forgive him? Or is he realizing that it's not going to be easy? Regardless of what it really means, an abusive relationship, household, it's not easy to overcome something like that. And given the beginning of this very chapter, the theory that Endeavor is going to die, if not this arc, at least in that war arc when the villains are gonna win, because despair always wins, has just gotten stronger. Yes, we are in the Boku no Hero Academia, chapter 247. What I mean by the beginning is that we see a very brief moment of Fuyumi. For some strange reason, we see her. She has sad eyes, but what I mean is, why are we seeing her? In last chapter we saw her, she seemed to pray. Is she praying for her father? She implies to be the one and only of her family members, well, except maybe the mother, who slowly may be forgiving him. Note, slowly. But that eyes she has, I wonder, is that eyes that are hiding something or something else? Because this very brief scene of her could just simply mean another foreshadowing. And that is that Endeavor will die. So either way, Endeavor demands them to tell them more about themselves. Deku begins by saying that he wants to be able to control his power, as he implies of his other power. And then he actually begins to go his very long speech on how his power works. In typical Deku style. But you know what makes this even funnier? Even though the sidekick is saying that that is very big, and Todoroki and Shoto is saying that it's very self-analyzing. Possibly, actually, I think he's giving a minor jab to Bakugo when he says that, saying that Deku, unlike him, is a lot more self-analyzing about himself. What makes that scene more funny, though, is that despite Deku having given that enormously long and very complicated explanation on how his quirk works and how he works and many things more, in the end, Endeavor just simply says, in other words, you want to learn and you micromanage your power output while in battle. Implying that, yes, he understood every little thing! For someone who is so serious and cold, even though he has firepower, no bad joke intended, does imply that, well, Endeavor can hang in with such conversations. He also silently mentions that if we're talking power, his quirk rivals that of All Might, and we know there's a reason for that. He then asks Bakugo, and Bakugo just simply says in his own arrogant state that I came out to find out what I can't. Because he says here that his quirk is extremely versatile, even though he largely... He also once again takes a jab on Deku, saying that I were even with just a single quirk, possibly saying that he knows that now that with Deku having more quirks, the chance of Deku becoming stronger than him is even more potent. So he just wants to become even stronger without his single quirk. And the fact is, but the one and only insight to this is he actually has learned that pure strength isn't enough to become strong. I hate Bakugo with a burning passion. Once again a fire joke that wasn't intending there, because of all of his arrogance. What you lack is friendship! You blasting idiot! But the fact that even he admits that pure strength is not enough is actually one very big step, because pure strength is not enough. But the thing is, he has always used pure strength. Maybe technique, yes, but also pure strength. So it makes sense that he wants to find out what he is missing. And what he is missing is kindness. He is missing kindness. And are willing to understand his limitations. But Bakugo is Bakugo. He will never surrender to his limitations. And that's not necessarily a bad thing, but it's what it is. The fact that Endeavor says this guy seems to imply that he understands him. He doesn't ask Shoto though, because he believes that Shoto will do Flashfire. However, here Shoto actually... Oh, this is my third bad fire joke, but I was gonna say burn him by saying that he has limited himself to using only his right side in battle because of the trauma of having beaten in the firepower as a kid. So he says that he is now exactly on how Endeavor shaped him up to be, which he doesn't want to. And that he actually here says that I am not striving to become you. I'm striving to become the hero I once watched with my mother and siblings. Note, he says siblings. Which means that once upon a time he really did see movies with his sibling. And if there's an if there will be a confirmation that Dabi is a Todoroki, then will he say the same? If you know what I mean. So he says that he came here for his own free will, to grow as an inexperienced hero and become a person worthy of the title hero. And he's only here to use the Endeavor, nothing else, and do not father him and give him special treatment. I mean, as he also remembers the time that he mentions that Shoto said to him that he knows that Endeavor is an amazing hero, but as a person you are scum. I mean, in a way that is a minor sad scene. But again, Endeavor until now have been nothing but an abusive father, so I can understand why people wouldn't really feel bad for Endeavor about that. But Endeavor actually learned his lesson. Think about it. It's not a lot of abusive people that do. So the fact that he actually understands that, well, he believed that Shoto came to him because he was opening his heart. But no, Shoto is still closing off his heart to Endeavor. And again, that makes sense. However, with the foreshadowing and the implication of the death flag of Endeavor, it wouldn't surprise me if Endeavor dies before Shoto and he reconcile. Either way, he takes them on patrol and mentions the 3 things that makes you a hero: rescue, evocation, and suppression. And here the arrogant Endeavor actually surprisingly shows a lot of detail in heroes. Yes, as I said, he has been confirmed to be an ace when it comes to heroism. He may not be a kind person, but he's serious about his, job. He mentions everything that his agency is different because most agencies are doing on this rescue and suppression. However, his works on rescue, evacuation and suppression. Which is that he focuses on people to evacuate things. He wants them to memorize the things about their district, be faster than anyone else, and minimize all casualties. And that's the basic parallels that processing with unparalleled speed. When I'm done, this will be natural to you. And what you gain and what they gained in UA was perseverance, and now they will gain experience. So do that, take the experience, and the 3 of you will overcome challenges. During winter break, show me that you can eliminate heroes even faster than me. So in the end, he does begrudgingly admits that these kids are supposed to surpass him. After all, he knows that in 4 months Armageddon arrives. So these young heroes have to become the beacon of hope that can destroy that Armageddon. But things are not moving on. So yeah, a very confusing chapter. A little bit more on the emotional side about it all. But again, the death flags on Endeavor is very strong. That Fuyumi scene though, what does that mean? it's her eyes that makes me so very questionable. You know, I once wondered, wouldn't it be tragic but also not surprising if in the end Fuyumi is the most villainous of all her siblings? So far it implies that Toya, whom we think is Dabi, is the most villainous. But what if Fuyumi is too? Because for some reason she seems to be the only one willing to give her father a chance. And again, it is not confirmed yet why. Is it because she's simply a very nice girl? Or is it because she didn't experience as much abusive behavior? Or is it simply because, well, she's a very forgiving person? Or is she hiding it all behind a mask of sanity? It's her eyes in the beginning that makes me question. Is that eyes of sadness, or is that eyes of something else? The death flag of Endeavor just got stronger with that scene alone. But other than that, this was just nothing more than information about this and that. Bakugo lacks kindness. He lacks a willingness, and he lacks an ability to understand some things. But he makes it perfectly clear to Deku that he doesn't want more than one quirk, and he wants to make sure that his quirk is the most powerful of all. But that's the thing, it's powerful. But it's not versatile, and I'm not saying that you need more than one quirk to do it. It's amazing that he really wants to evolve it, but I think Bakugo needs to evolve more than just his quirk. And Shoto wants to evolve more, we'll see, won't we? But can Deku learn to control the power? We'll see. The three young heroes head out now. The question is, will they gain enough? We still don't know what we're gonna expect in this moment, but give me your thoughts if you have any.